Good morning, it's Bob Massi. Happy first day of spring. I have my yellow on today. I have been involved in personal injury law for over 35 years. The reason I want to bring this to your attention is because recently I've had several people call me and I basically didn't take the case for some of the following reasons. So let's first talk about automobile accident cases. Let's talk about the cases that happen on private property, parking lots, anywhere on private property. Police will not come to private property for police report. So if you are injured in an automobile accident on private property, first of all, make sure as always that you get the other person's insurance information. Make sure also that if there's any witnesses, you get witness statements because there's not a police officer there to take witness statements. And most importantly, when you basically get all the information, you go and you file a police report as a result of the accident on private property. Go to one of the substations and make a record of it immediately. In addition to that, always call your own insurance company because you want to let them know you are in an accident, that you are not at fault. So you're not at fault driver. Also, if you have an injury or you wake up the next day, go to at least an urgent care. Get some kind of documentation you're having a problem, because some of the people that called me just in the last week, they waited 5 to 6 weeks before they went for any kind of treatment. And for me, I don't take the cases because I know what the insurance companies are going to do, and they're just going to say, forget about it. How do we know she wasn't hurt somewhere else or he wasn't hurt somewhere else? So these are simple things you need to do, particularly when you're on private property. Now, obviously, if you're in an accident on a highway, a street where the Metro or Highway Patrol has jurisdiction over, obviously, again, exchange information with which the police help. Take pictures of the photos, same thing on private property. Take pictures of the vehicles so you can show the damage. I personally don't take personal injury cases that have very low property damage that I can't even see it to the eye because insurance companies don't pay on it. If you're in an accident and there is a lot of property damage and you're injured, yes, I take those kinds of cases. But remember again, whether it be private property or on the highways, exchange the information. The police will be there on the highways, of course, to take the information. Witness statements, usually the police will get, hopefully, if private property, you get them yourself. Take pictures of the automobile, of the damage of the vehicles, and make sure you go and make some type of record as to medical care if needed. There's people in accidents every day that aren't injured. Thank God for that. Now, slip and fall cases. Most of the time with slip and fall cases, I've had a lot of success with them because I'm very selective what I take. Let me give you an example. If you're walking down the aisle of a supermarket and somebody's maybe 10, 15, 20 feet in front of you and some oil falls on the floor and then you don't see it, you slip and fall, that supermarket property damage, that's a premises liability claim, is not going to be responsible. Why? Because notice is a defense to slip and fall. In other words, if they didn't have time to clean it up, then they're not going to pay the claim. They're going to say there's no liability. How do you prove on a different circumstance that they are responsible? Well, depends on the condition. Let's take the same thing. Let's say the oil was sitting there for a while, nobody was in front of you, you're not watching, you're basically getting your groceries, you slip and fall. You prove it by, you ultimately subpoena all of the logs as to how often they clean. And a lot of it now, there's video surveillance to see what's clean and what wasn't clean. So you prove that they had enough time to have notice of this condition. They did nothing, or they didn't have the proper maintenance type of procedures in place to protect the public from these type of injuries. Now, if you have a situation, I had a case a few years ago where a person was visiting her friend in an apartment complex and walked through the common area through the grass, and there was a hole that was there that over time the grass grew over and she fell into the hole and literally broke her leg and broke her hip. That is liability all over the place because, again, in this case, the HOA had a responsibility to maintain that property, to inspect the property, to make it safe because it's foreseeable that people come, obviously, to these type of places. The biggest issue we're dealing with today, the amount of people that are advertising on television, particularly in Las Vegas, per capita, probably more than any place I've ever seen. And hey, it's America. These men and women have the right to advertise. First Amendment says it. Back in 1978, Arizona versus Bates, that was the first case that came out. The problem is because of many of these places settle cases for less than the value, the insurance companies over time has lowered the values of the cases because 80% of some of these people are settling cases not for the value that they're really worth. Now, settlement is very subjective to people because there's times when I get offers on cases and I say, I think it's worth more, but it's your choice. This is your money, this is your choice, this is your injury. So, God forbid if you're in an accident, go through your checklist, call your insurance company. If it's private property, go get a police report, take pictures of the vehicle, witness statements. If you're injured, go to urgent care, and then immediately, if you feel you're injured, call us if we can help. Massi and Massi, attorneys at law, 702-870-1100. And also you go to our website at www.massimassi.com. Finally, on premises liability, obviously if you're injured bad, you try to take a picture. Witnesses are very important. The condition of the premises are important. So this is Bob Massi. Happy first day of spring. I hope this gives you some information. Share it with your friends. And if we could help you, we're here. Have a good day.